More coffee? She's looking like nope. That's a negative, Ghost Rider. So I'm going to run this in solo by myself. It'll be fine. All right, well, we're off. We win that draw at the face-off for the beginning of the game. Bring it into our zone. We're looking strong already. And Ice Hounds intercept in the defensive zone, offensive zone, and run it down. Looks like Patterson, 25, tries to go in for a shot. Luke Miller is able to block it. Gets popped out of the zone. No icing going into the corner. Ice Hounds intercept. 25, Patterson's got it again. Was it a cross? Ice Hounds couldn't handle the pass. Brings it into our zone. Should have been an icing, but we grab it, pull it behind our net. Patterson once again keeps it in the zone. Miller knocks it behind to Simon. Zach Carlson gives chase into the corner, and puck pops out. So Ice Hounds will reset, and we'll get a quick change, and we may get I am surprised we didn't get a too many on the bench, on the ice call there. We had a lot of red and white jerseys, but we got away with one. So we go for a full change. Looks like Axel tries to bring it in. It's right, everything's going on right below me. Simon kicks it in directly to the goalie, covers, and we're gonna get an offensive set on the closest circle to it. And the cowbells, everybody's favorite cowbells, are ringing loud here in Fort Wayne or Gary, Indiana, wherever we are, and continues. Lots of black jerseys all surrounding the puck. Nolan gives chase, but gets just straight past because he knew it was an icing. So conserve the energy, let the Ice Hounds player burn themselves out. Luke knocks it down for the icing. Cross ice. Finley helps assist it, get it down to the ref. So we'll reset in the offensive circle. 0-0, 11-21, as you can see in the bottom right of your screen maybe. We're trying. Nolan with a shot from the point, gets knocked down by an Ice Hounds player. Grayson's able to keep it in, gets knocked back out. We're gonna reset it. Nolan against the glass, gets kicked behind the net to Axel, up to Finley. Finley across to an Ice Hounds player, intercepts in the neutral zone. 36 for Ice Hounds get it back into our offensive, or in our defensive zone. Nolan True brings it around the back of the net. Has two Ice Hounds players on him. Ice Hounds circle it back, intercepted by Trube. Ice Hounds are putting a little bit of pressure on. Gets it out of the zone. Finley tips it up into barely over the blue line, intercepted by an Ice Hounds player. That is going to be an offsides on the Ice Hounds. We're going to reset with Poulter, Canterbury, and Madeline, with Mamek and Zach Carlson. So we've changed our offensive lines today from yesterday. A little bit different lines. We got Poulter and Canterbury together. Francis was in that mix, so replaced. Blocker saved by Luke. Ice Hounds in our zone, cycling the puck pretty well. Out to the slot. None of the Ice Hounds players could handle it. From the point, and from the point into, I believe that was 97 to 13 in the slot. Nobody covering 13, unfortunately. So we're going to go down 0-1 with 9:53 in the first. Always a pleasure. All right, so Patterson's in on, I guess this is their first line. Shoots across Luke, back out to the point, back in. No high stick on that, on a Cyclone stick, tamping that puck down. Benji kicks it out to the high slot, but then intercepted by an outside player. Patterson once again, 25, shoots wide. Luke extends his glove out, but it deflects it over into the corner. Cyclones are trying to get it out of the zone, having trouble, lots of pressure. Low shot wide of Luke back into the corner. So a little bit of scrummage there. Owen brings it around the back of the net, kicks it along the boards right to 77, who whiffs the shot for the Ice Hounds. Patterson once again has the puck. Looks like Santos is giving him the business, trying to get it out of the zone. Does succeed in getting it out of the zone. No icing call. Looks like we're going to get a change. And it looks like we do have Payne in our lineup. So I don't think he was here yesterday. The new kid, Ashton Payne, and that's offside. So we're going to reset on our offsides. Looks like the Ice Hounds may have one player that must have left the jersey at the house. It happens. Happens to the best of us. 26, black jersey. So we'll reset Finley, Grayson on defense this game with Nolan. So he's moved back from being a center to defense. Axel, Ashton, and Finley. Nolan in the corner, battling for the puck. Gets help back to the point to Bayer. Wide shot off the post. Gets knocked down. High slot to Finley. Finley across to Ashton. And with the breakaway, look for the slot. Goes for the shot. Covered by the goalie. And then I think Finley's getting a warning about knocking the Ice Hounds player down after the play. We'll see how far these warnings go. This should be an interesting game. So we're gonna get a line change. Canterbury, Poulter, and Madeline, Carlson, and Mamek all on the ice now in the offensive zone for the faceoff. Shot gets tossed out. Carlson takes the shot, gloved by the Ice Hounds goalie. Looks like there was a little bit of scrummage between one player and Poulter. I believe Poulter did play or did learn to skate with the Ice Hounds, so there's maybe some bad blood here. We don't know. Into the high slot. Canterbury tries to backhand. It gets knocked away by the Ice Hounds player. Lots of battling in the offensive zone. Mamek turns back, skating away. Carlson turns away. Everybody doesn't know where the puck is, and we get an icing. And we're probably going to reset with a full line change once again. We're doing the change on the whistles. So as long as we're getting about 1 minute of play, that's fine. It was good work by that line. Solid, kept it in the offensive zone. So maybe we're starting to click. We're woke up. We're 7 minutes and 27 seconds left in the period, and we're starting to click. All right, so we're going to start with Santos, Simon on defense, and Benji as his defense partner. Simon kicks it off of his leg pad. It deflects back to an Ice Hounds player. The Ice Hound player takes a shot, but Luke knocks it down and covers. Where are you at? I got Cindy over here, like doing her own thing on the in the bleachers, leaving me solo here. No help in the broadcast booth this morning. All right, Luke pad saves to the corner. Another pad save, and Ice Hound player, before Luke could cover it up, flips it up in the air. Same player flips it up again. Ice Hound player gloves it down, doesn't have a hand pass as he passes it in, or takes a wide shot actually. Patterson once again, and we've got some Cyclone on Cyclone violence there in the slot. We got a lot of bodies in front of Luke, screening our own goalie, not advised. They spread out. I think they thought they were in mites for a hot second. Anyhow, all right, we get it popped out of the zone. the Ice Hounds passed it out to the point, first it at the point, which I believe it was one of our former players, one of the Kurtz brothers, was on the point. Blocker save once again from a long shot away. Grayson to Axel. Axel goes for a breakaway. He's got somebody and gets the shot away. Deflected by the goalie. Good save by the goalie. Evidently we got some cowbells. Probably sounds like a goalie parent because those cowbells were ringing high on that save. Ice Hounds player behind the net. Looks like Finley, Axel, Ashton, Francis, and Trube on the ice. There's an icing coming. It's a slow roller. They're not going to wave it off as Francis gives chase. We're going to get another change. Quick changes here. Looks like Canterbury, Poulter, and Madeline are back on the ice. We've got Mamick and Carlson back on at defense. So earlier we were able to keep, this line was able to keep it in the offensive zone for most of their shift and had some, they're working good together. This could be a good lineup right here. Puck gets dropped. Poulter passes it back to Carlson at the tie point. Poulter once again poking it below. Poulter tries to kick it into the slot. No one home but Ice Hounds players. The puck gets kicked out and 36 from the Ice Hounds looks across, wide open, gets through, off the post. Luck right there, luck. Poulter's got hold of it. Canterbury's into the wall. We've got to play with some more aggression here. There we go. All right, that one ramps up Carlson's stick, but luckily goes behind the net. James Mamick handles the puck out, and nice poke check by Luke. Madeline cross to Canterbury, can't handle the pass, got to get some speed on it. 77 turns back, gets it back into the neutral zone. Looks like 13, the only goal scorer of the game, is out there. Looks like Poulter takes out one of the players. Madeline's the only one in the neutral zone. Canterbury goes for a change. This is what we're talking about, changing on the fly. All right, Poulter's resetting, passes up to Axel, who just came and replaced Canterbury on the ice. Excuse me, that is not Axel. That is Landon. Excuse me, that was Landon that came in for Canterbury. He's giving chase into the offensive zone. Oh, wow, the Ice Hounds player couldn't get control of the puck. Cyclones came in to get it, but they couldn't get control either. That's going to be an offsides here along the close boards. Oh. Well, it looks like the battery for the scoreboard, I just got notified that it's down to 20%, even though I have it plugged into a charger. So we got 20% left battery on the scoreboard camera, and it may die. We'll see if it can last the game. Should have plugged that in last night. All right, back into the neutral zone. Starting to get a little bit more even game here. Anyhow, we're back in our defensive zones. Simon, Benji, Santos calling for the pass. Cross late out of the zone, or back in the zone. Gets kicked out. Simon gives chase along the, keep it in along the blue line. Santos kicks it across to the slot. Owen wide open, wide shot. Goalie kicks it away into the side. Ice Hounds trying to get it out of their zone. This is another good offensive shift here. So puck blindly kicked up along the boards by Finley. Ice Hounds intercept. The shot went up over of Luke from a weird angle. Now we're going to get a breakaway by 67, our new kid on the team, straight to the body of our goalie. Got to aim more for the corners, low shots, not for the body mass. It's hard to aim for those areas. We'll get to it. We're still in the development stage of hockey. All right. So back and forth we go. Looks like we've got Grayson, Nolan, Grayson gets it out of the zone on defense. Gets knocked up along the boards. Axel is giving chase. Ice Hounds defender shoves it back in the neutral zone, resetting. Oh, what a move by Axel, but unfortunately he kicked it away from Patterson, then it got deflected back to Patterson. Patterson makes a wide shot though. Shot from the point, whiffed it, out to 16 by the Ice Hounds. Lots of things along the board. At least we're spread out good. Nobody's, other than, we've got one in the slot, but he's being handled by Nolan. It's good defense going on here. Patterson going behind the net. Luke shifts over. Patterson's looking for a nice save by Luke. Luke! Kurtz, cross, along the boards right in front of us. I'll try to get us on camera, but best I can, but it's right below me. It looks like Finley, Francis, and Axel all bring it into the zone. Benny's wide open shot back to the point to Francis. Francis kicks it back into Canterbury, but intercepted by that point, as we're going to have an icing here. We're going to get a full change. Looks like it's going to be Poulter, Madeline, and I believe Canterbury is going to stay out to reset the lines, and Carlson and Mamick. So the lines are starting to click. A line change is sometimes hard to get used to after yesterday's lines were shifted to today's lines. I think that's because Ashton showed up today. Shot from Carlson from the point right to the goalie. I don't think the goalie even realized it hit him, but looks down and it's sitting at the top of his butterfly. Gloves down on it. We'll reset once again. Same circle. Looks like we've got 6 viewers, including one being myself as my monitor screen over here. So welcome to the 5 people that are tuning in. So puck's dropped, kicked back, light kickback by Poulter. A little bit harder of a kickback, but we still won the draw, but given a little bit of pressure by the Ice Hounds. Madeline chases it in. Looks like Madeline's giving him the business. Into the slot, nobody home. Canterbury goes out. Mamick comes in. Pucks get shifted out in behind the net. Canterbury's along the line. Nobody hanging out in the slot, unfortunately. Puck gets kicked out. No icing called. We're going to go for a reset in our defensive zone. Up to Madeline. Madeline's Ice Hounds 23, intercepted by Canterbury. And a save by Luke. Covers up. We'll get a change. Oh, we got 1.1 seconds, so they're going to leave him out there, I believe, I hope. Would hate for them to get a change for that 1.1 seconds left. I didn't realize it was that close. So they're going to give us drop, and what a shot, and we're kicked out. It was exactly a good play there where the Ice Hounds player on the drop just made the shot, and Luke was able to knock it down. We're going to go into a quick intermission here, and I'm going to drink some coffee. All right, we're going to start the second period. We're down 1-0, 13-minute periods. It was a short words of wisdom from Kirk, as the refs are not messing around. They want to get this over with. They've probably been prepaid. They're ready to get out of here. Ice Hounds player kicks it up in the air high causing an icing. So we'll reset in our offensive zone with Landon, Santos, Owen, Simon, and Benji. Right here is a great opportunity to score. I'm kind of surprised at the lineups of, if we're looking at the Ice Hounds lines versus our lines. This looks like the Ice Hounds top line. I'm not sure which line this is for us. Actually, I have no clue what the lines are. I mean, if we even have top lines with this team. You know, first, second, and third. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. We're 12U youth hockey. Landon kicks it in, giving some pressure there, actually. Simon couldn't keep it in. Santos brings it in and runs into number 20. 25, Patterson, once again, brings it into the zone, intercepted, safe, and wow, there was a lot of fumbling with that puck, but it didn't go in. I am very surprised at that, but I don't think it ever crossed the line. One of our own players almost knocked it in. Not sure who was there, but luckily Luke was able to recover from behind. Desperation save is what they're called. Okay, so we're going to reset now with in our defensive zone with Francis, Nolan, Ashton, Axel, and Finley. Shot from Axel. Another shot, bad angle. Troop tries to keep it in, he does keep it in. On the blue line, big shot from outside, deflected. What a deflected play. That shot was on the ice, deflected straight to Finley. Finley's stick up into the Ice Hounds glove, goalie's glove. So that's probably the best hockey I've seen today. I mean, that was an awesome tip. You usually see that at an older age group, but if they can keep those up, good things are gonna happen. Francis from the point, once again, bounces into the Ice Hounds goalie, and we'll reset again. So we're adding a lot of offensive pressure at the beginning of the second period. We want to get that 1-goal lead erased by the Ice Hounds. Francis once again from the point, deflected, and once again, the Ice Hounds goalie covers, and Ice Hounds go for a full change. I think what's going on here with the Cyclones are in a good position. I think the Ice Hounds are just going to get a change, see if different players on the ice can get a different result than a goalie cover. If we can win this draw, let's make it 3 times the charm for Francis from the point. We lose the draw. Patterson takes it out of the zone. Nolan tries to give chase. Patterson backhands, leg save, covered by Luke. Actually pulls the puck in with the toe of his pad, then covers outside the blue. Not sure if he knew that was a Cyclone friendly with him, but always better to be safe than sorry. Now we get a change. Canterbury, Poulter, Madeline line, Carlson, and Mamek. So we'll see where this goes. We're in the defensive zone. High stick and cover. So puck went high, stick down, but was not called a high sticking because when it came down, it was to an Ice Hounds player who kicked it in to Luke, who butterflied and covered. So we'll reset on the other circle. Ice Hounds win the draw, kick it out to the point. 23 kicks it along the boards. Madeline gets hold of it, kicks it out to no one. I'm not sure what the Ice Hounds player was doing. That's off Poulter's skate. Poulter kicks it up the wall to Madeline. Madeline looks over. Offsides by Canterbury, but we're not going to get a call on the offsides. We'll take it. That was offsides all day long. It was very close. Anyways, we're back in our offensive zone. Canterbury's giving chase. Mamek can't keep hold of the puck. Pops out in the neutral zone. We're going to reset. Looks like Carlson kicks it up into the netting, and we're going to get a reset outside the zone. So we'll get a change. Got to take advantage of when we're on the ice. We're back to the same I'm not sure what's going on with the lines, but we're back to Landon, Owen, Santos. I feel like they were just out there, but maybe I'm off. So we got Benji and Simon on defense. It's like 77 Baden, intercepted by Simon. Simon falls but gets it out of the zone. Santos gives chase. Owen tries to kick it up the boards. Santos sitting there waiting for the shot. Cross to Landon. Landon back, hits an Ice Hound skate, but is able to keep it in. And Simon, that will be offside, just barely. There was still a little bit of blue paint still left on that puck as it crossed, but we're going to reset. So it's your guess as good as mine to when an actual offsides is to these refs. But it's been evenly called so far, so no complaints from this end so far. Anyhow, looks like Cyclones win the draw with Axel in the zone. It should have been another offside, but we'll take it. That was not called an offside. Looks like Francis comes up to Axel. Axel gets leg tripped. Should be a call. Does not. High shot by 34. And Finley Ray, absolute laser over the goalie's glove. So 1-1, 9:59 left in the second. We cut the lead away. We're going to go into a tied game. That was an excellent shot. So that'll silence the cowbells and the horns for a little bit. Anyways, moving back into the face-off after the score. Same line out there, 34 trying to get a double up on it. Way off sides, Axel's already hanging out with the goalie. And I don't know what he was doing there. Yeah, that was pretty bad offsides there. But anyhow, it's just, we'll reset again in our favorite dot and we'll see if we can do it again. So Axel pushed back by the ref, dropped. Puck gets knocked back out. Francis keeps it in. Finley. Ice Hounds have it in our offensive zone, kicking it up the boards. Axel intercepts, kicks it back, blind pass behind him, going to Payne. Payne wasn't expecting the pass. Now some fancy stick work and intercepted by Finley. Finley pushes through, playing the puck. Back into the neutral zone by Payne. We're definitely onside on that when we brought the puck in to that. Kicked out, past Nolan, no icing, giving chase. Nolan kicks it up the wall, intercepted by a Ice Hounds player. Shot on Luke. Luke deflects it across to the far board, or close board, excuse me. Now we've got Payne coming in, whiffs the pass into the zone to dump it deep. We got a call. I can hear from the bench they're calling in Nolan. So Ice Hounds Kurtz looks like he's having a little trouble by himself trying to get that shot up the wall. I'm not sure what just happened right there, but it looks like Mamik lost an edge along the boards. Puck goes wide. Luckily Francis is on the ice with the speed and is able to catch up to the puck before Patterson was able to do anything with it. Canterbury tries to... There's a little bit of a scrummage right here along the board. Poulter's going to reset, cross to Mamik. I'm not sure what we're doing here. Francis into the neutral zone. It should be a high stick. That was not called as a high stick. That should have been a high stick as it was popped down. Shot from Patterson high over Luke's head. Back out. A little bit of pandemonium here. Not sure who's doing what, but we got to get organized. We need to get a cover or a reset. We're not, I think they're foggy headed after that goal. We get a whistle. No, that was not a whistle. Shot wide of Luke. Mamik gives chase. I think this all started when Mamik fell. It kind of just all pandemonium happened and we've been stuck in our defensive zone. Poulter misses the pass out. Shot wide. Luke gets a toe on it, kicks it back to the corner. Madeline gets hold of it, up the boards and out. Thank goodness we've got it out. We've got to get out of back into the offensive zone now to change by the Ice Hounds. So we're going to need a reset for sure after that. I'm not sure what was going on. There's a lot of confusion out there. I don't think they were, not sure what happened there. But we got reset. We got Santos, Landon, Owen, Benji, and Simon back out there. Benji goes up the wall, followed by Owen. Owen kicks it up, hits Kurtz for the other team on the point, tries to get it out once again along the wall. Following right here below me, Owen brings it, gets intercepted by an Icehound player that gets kicked back in the zone. Looks like Finley, excuse me, I said Simon was out there. That's, no. Yeah, no, that is Simon. I get the two confused, I apologize. So that's an offsides. Looks like we're gonna get we're gonna stay with the same defense, but we're gonna get an offensive change. And the horns start again. We got Ashton, Finley, and Axel back out there. This is the offensive line that was able to score, tie it up. Back out there again. Icehounds player taps the stick one in a pass, but intercepted. Looks like Finley crosses to the, tries to get it into the slot, but nobody was able to get into the slot in time. Finley's looking to the slot to 67, who's hanging out a little high in the slot, which is fine. Icehounds are, that Axel's shot was off angle, ramped up off of the Icehounds player and over to the far boards. Kept in by Benji, now kicked out. Benji couldn't hold the line as he was interfered with by a Cyclones forward. And Simon just slaps it out, but slaps it right in the back of the leg of an Icehounds player. The Icehounds player looks to be okay. He's trying to skate it out. Definitely gonna feel that in the morning. Axel resets, fancy footwork, wide open, and shot intercepted with a stick by an Icehounds player, knocked down. 13 once again, backhands it across to Canterbury, who just gets on the ice. We definitely got a change on the fly there, that's good. Benny tries to chop at it, unless he's been hanging out with Poulter too long. Anyhow, and that'll be offsides for Axel. We're gonna get a half change, I believe. So Poulter, Madeline will come on, Canterbury will stay out. We'll get the same defensive partners of their line, which is Mamek and Carlson. All right, wins the draw, but Canterbury wasn't prepared for it. Mamek gets back, passes it up. Canterbury intercepts it and holds it in the zone. I'm not sure what that was about. He should have let that one go. Patterson tries to get hold of it, gets knocked out into the neutral zone to little Kurtz, I believe. Not William, but the little one, the younger brother on the team playing up. Both the Kurtz brothers left the Cyclones last year and are on the Icehounds. Not sure how they feel about the Icehounds organization, but they are in it for the long run at the rest of this season. Out to Canterbury, wide open and goal! 73 ties it up. I believe that came from Madeline from the corner into the slot. Canterbury sitting there having, yeah, let's go. Exactly. You hang out with the opposing goalie long enough, there'll be a puck there. What? I can't hear you.
You saw it coming, right?
No, I didn't. Cindy says she felt it coming. I think it's the hangover talking. She's dancing in the stands now, so everything must be okay. I should put a mic on her. Anyhow, we're going to keep the pressure on. Santos, fancy footwork and stick work. But unfortunately, three Icehounds defenders is too much for him to get through that mess. Still in our offensive zone. Definitely confidence is up. Cowbells are turned off. And now the Icehounds give chase. Hopefully we're not going to get too comfortable. We need to keep the pedal down. We need to win this by a lot. Shot off of Landon's, and we're going to get an offsides call. Landon took one to the inner leg. Looks like he's got a little bit of a limp going off, but I think he'll be all right. It's a good block. And we'll reset outside our defensive zone for a face-off. So now we're with Ashton, Finley, Axel, Simon, and Benji. Keep it in the neutral zone, along the boards, back into our offensive zone. Looks for the pass to Ashton. Ashton can't handle the pass. Wasn't able to get his stick down for it. Ice Hounds player kicks it way up. Finley kicks it back into our zone. Ice Hounds pick it up. Little bit of a, Simon and Patterson in a little bit of a skirmish along the boards. Nothing too malicious going on, just came into each other. I think they both were thinking I can't check, so we'll hold off. Kurtz deflected off a multiple Cyclones player. Back to the point again. Kurtz falls down and kicks it along the near boards and around behind the net. Patterson and Benji collide and try to get it out. Cross up and brought in by Axel. Axel does no help. Somebody's got to get in that. All right, we got to get in the slot, boys. All right, to Benji, in, wide of the net to Finley. Finley tries to get it out to Axel. Axel was a little bit behind the play. And Simon resets in our zone. Ice Hounds get a change. Canterbury comes on for someone. So we're back to this split on the move changes, which is fine with me. And that should have been a trip along the near boards. We must be in Detroit because we are not seeing any arms raised other than the cheers from the crowd. Now we get another offsides. They definitely know what an offsides is, but that was definitely tripping along the near boards here. All right, so we're going to go back to the, go for an offensive. No, we're going center ice. Center ice. We got the Canterbury, Poulter, Madeline line with the same defense as usual, Carlson and Mamek. Madeline's chopping at it, bringing it into the zone, intercepted by a Ice Hounds player. Everybody's clears. Poulter's trying to get it, gets tied up. Madeline's there with him. Canterbury's hanging out in his home in the blue with the goalie, which is where he should be. Gets kicked out, and that is not an icing. No icing called. Mamet gives chase, brings it around the backboard, slams on the brakes. The Ice Hounds player flies past him just like the Top Gun movie. What a move. Unfortunately, the Ice Hounds are able to recover the puck and get a shot wide. Now we got Carlson coming along the near boards. Canterbury blocking for him. Was able to get it in the zone. Pass, Carlson brings it in. Drop pass, no. Tries to go for glory, whiffs it. Carlson falls all over the puck. 16 for the Ice Hounds gets intercepted by Poulter. Poulter's looking wide to the point. Mamek's able to keep it in. Cross to Canterbury. Canterbury's lining up for a hell of a shot, wide, way wide. Not sure what that was. That's called a slap shot pass. Oh, what a move by Canterbury. Stands up number 2. And it somehow bounces into the goalie. I believe we're going to get a full reset. That was an excellent shift by both teams. Wow. We're getting some good hockey here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We're in Fort Wayne still, right? We're in Gary, Indiana. Muncie. We're in Erie, PA? Oh, shit. Sorry about that, folks. I thought we were in... I'm getting word that we're in Erie. Anyhow, I guess we'll get a reset because the puck gets knocked up into the netting and out of play. Looks like Poulter Sr., not Matt, but Mike, puts the puck back into the ref. And all right. So with 54 seconds left in the second period, Troop sees it come in. Landon gets hold of it, and then that's a trip, but even though he lets go of the stick, doesn't mean it's still not a trip. All right, Francis brings it into the zone, dumps it deep into an Ice Hound player. out to 52. That is Owens along the boards. Ice Hounds try to pass off the boards in front of us, and that puck gets kicked out. Francis is a little bit slow on that. I'm not sure why he played it the way he did, but he did try to kick it back out. It looked like he kicked it almost into our own slot as the Ice Hounds player came across, and I'm not sure what Luke was thinking with that poke check. That, unfortunately, was a bad save decision on Luke's part, trying to poke check. So anyways, now we're tied 2-2, 8.1 left in the second. I actually saw my daughter a week or two ago do the same thing. So it's just sometimes the goalies think they can poke check that thing out of the way, and when you miss, sometimes it's not good. So anyways, Patterson goes for a wide shot thinking he was running out of time, tries to follow it in. Benji kicks it around the boards, and we're gonna be into the third period, tied up 2-2, and the cowbells are ringing. Gotta love them cowbells, people. All right, well, I'm gonna mute and drink some coffee, hopefully get a little bit longer break than the last time. All right, we're gonna start the third period, tied up 2-2. And just to clarify for one of the listeners who texted me, it is never the goalie's fault. I did not say that. I just identified that it probably shouldn't have done a poke check in that situation. We love our goalies here. Never their fault. Anyhow, we get offsides. We lose the draw, but unfortunately the Ice Hounds offsides. We're going back to this circle right here that we've been hanging out at quite a bit this game. Sorry for the camera drift. If I let go of the handle, it just drifts up and back to resets into the same area. So we'll start off with Benji, Simon, Finley, Axel, and Ashton Payne. 67 gives chase, yes, 6-7. Simon kicks it up the boards, intercepted by an Ice Hounds player. Axel tries to lift his stick. Patterson's got a shot right into Luke's pads and paddle where he covers. And we'll get a full change. Canterbury, Poulter, and Trube. We're changing the defensive side on this now. We were working with Mamek and Carlson with this offensive line, but we're going to switch it up. We're going to put Grayson and Nolan out there. Benny falls along the boards. I'm not sure. It was like a lazy fall. I don't know. Maybe that'll be an offsides. We're getting good at being offsides today. So we'll reset on the far circle outside the defensive blue line. Poulter sets up, ready for the drop. Kicks it back gets kicked back by Ice Hounds, win the draw but kick it over, but Canterbury gets it able. Now Canterbury up to Madeline. Madeline is definitely working hard today. And then unfortunately gets intercepted by an Ice Hounds player. Ice Hounds bring it in with a little bit of speed. Cross, trying to look for somebody in the slot, and no. Wow. So we switch up our defensive side, and it was not a good choice. Our defensive people just could not keep track of it. That puck bounced around a bunch of red and white jerseys, but nobody could get a stick on it and knock it out. So now we're down 3-2, 12:03. Cowbells are ringing from the other team, and we'll reset here. 3-2, 12 minutes left. Ice Hounds bring it in, but goes, oh, I thought it was going up into the Cyclones bench, but it stayed in. Along the wall, I believe that's Landon, out to Santos, back in along Axel's, no, not Axel, excuse me, that's Landon's skate. These fake glasses are definitely getting away. Now we got Mamick and Carlson back out there with a wide, through a bunch of traffic. Once again, Carlson's gonna look for the point. High shot. Goalie almost loses an edge. 23, pinned against the board. Santos knocks down the Ice Hounds player in front of the net, the defender. Looks like the Ice Hounds gain control. Kick along the close boards. Carlson kicks it back in. Santos ducks, almost takes one to the face. Goes up off the glass. Back to Mamick. Mamick intercepted by an Ice Hounds player in the center ice. Does some fancy stick work, but we're not able to. Santos hops over the other player's stick, still stuck here along the close boards. Now it finally gets kicked into our defensive zone. Mamick looks, kicks it up off of a Ice Hounds whiff on the blue line. Santos now it resets, tries to kick it up to Landon. Landon wasn't ready for the pass. We're gonna try to get a change here on the fly. We have a stick in the center ice, and the Ice Hounds look to be, we get a full change, still waiting on the change. A ref goes to pick up the James Mamick stick, according to Mark. Lots of traffic in front of, we're screening our goalie once again, but it's luckily kicked out, no icing. Light chase for the Cyclones, not giving a lot of chase. Ice Hounds player misplays the puck next to their net, but luckily they get it out to Patterson. Patterson brings it into center ice. He's got a 3-on-1, now it's 3-on-3. Ice Hounds catch up, and once again we're puck's kicked into our slot, into the slot. Luke's gonna look for, kicks it out wide. Bad angle, tries to go off the back of the goalie's shoulder, but luckily it gets kicked out to Madeline, up to Finley. Finley's getting hold of it, takes the shot, follows his own rebound, and the goalie does exactly what a goalie should do when they can't find the puck, lays out. Unfortunately, the goalie was able to lay down and cover that puck. That was a nice desperation save by the goalie. When you don't know where the puck is, lay down and spread your arms out and hope to God it's under you. And luckily this time for the Ice Hounds it was. So we'll reset on the close circle, offensive draw. Once again, we're going with Nolan and Grayson on defense, Poulter, Madeline, and Canterbury on offense. Light hit. True keeps it in on an offsides. Upset with himself on that, but I don't know if there was much he could do with it. Looks like Ryba from the bench is saying it's okay, which it was okay. So hopefully he takes that in. Madeline backhands it in, comes back into the neutral zone, unfortunately. Troop misplays it along the boards, still on the boards though. Troop's gonna take it in. Maybe he's gonna get one of those point shots like yesterday. All right, he looks for it. Desperation, whiff, laying down, still trying to get some stick time on that puck. Back into the neutral zone to Poulter, across to Madeline. Madeline can't control it, but somehow gets it to Canterbury. Canterbury's stick gets lifted, and Ice Hounds player knocks it back into our defensive zone. Kurtz brings it in for the Ice Hounds, next to Poulter, former teammates. Madeline, and Canterbury's got some traffic. Madeline's got hold of it. We're gonna have to get some defensive movements. Grayson brings it in, nobody ready in the slot. Shot, covered by the Ice Hounds goalie. Canterbury knocked down. I think he tripped over the goalie till the whistle. Keep playing until you hear a whistle. That's the rules. So no harm, no foul. We'll reset lines and with a puck drop on the close boards in the offensive zone. Down 3-2, 8:15 left in the third. Looks like we won that draw just barely. Carlson keeps it in. Carlson once again keeps it in. Owens trying to fight with it. Unfortunately gets past Simmons, number 2 with the Ice Hounds, doing some fancy footwork. Gets tied up with Ice Hounds player 16, the wide backhand shot. Santos plays it up the boards, back in to the corner. High shot, knocked down by an Ice Hounds player 26. Landon, that should be an offsides, definitely offsides. So we'll get another reset. Looks like we're going to get the Axel Finley Ashton line with Simon and Benji out there on defense. So
Cyclones.
16 wins the draw, brings it in. Bear tied up with a lot of red and white, still can't get the puck out. 10 at the point for the Ice Hounds, knocks it in deep. Simon's not sure what he's doing back in behind the net, but he's looking, looks like he was trying to put the stick down on it. And Luke lays out and covers the puck. So we're gonna get another change, so quick changes on the whistles. And we're back to the Poulter, Madeline, Canterbury line with, once again, Trube and Francis on defense. I think the Ice Hounds won that draw, but kicked it out to Madeline. Madeline kicked it back into the corner, and that's going to be an offsides. And we'll reset outside of our zone, just barely. And well, that was a little bit of a weak whistle by the ref. I think he's out of breath. All right, Madeline intercepts, gets kicked behind to Patterson for the Ice Hounds. He brings it in, kicked away by Trube. Canterbury kicks it out. That will go for an icing, but Ice Hounds don't want to play that game. They want to skate, so they don't take the free pass to get back into their zone. Poulter intercepts along the close boards. Madeline gives chase into the corner, puts a stick on it. Poulter and Madeline, Canterbury hanging out on the far side, waiting for something to pop out to him. Grayson backhands it back in, unfortunately hits Patterson on the backhand attempt to keep it in. Nolan is on it, backhand, stick save into the corner. Patterson once ahead and gets it, lines up, glove save, Luke covers it up. We're gonna get a reset. Good save, Luke, good save. So, we'll reset with Owen, Santos. You should, by now I should know these lines, but, and these names, but I don't. Yeah. So you're able to get it out of our zone. Would have been for an icing, but the puck just didn't have enough momentum to get down. Santos gives chase into the corner, pushes the Ice Hounds player. Zach Carlson gets tripped up. Now we've got a lot of black and one Mamek handling business. Landon, that keeps it in, and luckily we're able to get everybody back into our zone. Mamek kicks it out, gets it to Owen. Owen can't handle the pass, kicks it up to Santos. Santos having trouble with it with the Ice Hounds 23 player. Owen kicks back to the Ice Hounds, cross to 26. 26 looks back to the slot, takes a shot towards the slot, but gets deflected behind our boards. Owen, Carlson's wrapped up. They're doing the two-step in the corner, back around the boards. I'm not sure what's going on with that move. Landon slammed on the brakes. Santos standing up, skating strong. Shot off of the goalie. Should have been a trip. Was not. Interference on that call. We're not calling anything here. It's just fine, as long as they're not calling it one way. definitely a good game going today. Simon skates backwards as the puck crosses into the neutral zone below me. Is able to kick it back in, intercepted by 23. Simon wants ahead, trying to get it along this close board. I'm doing the best I can camera-wise. Simon wants ahead and has it in our defensive zone, looking for the pass up to Axel. Axel couldn't handle the pass. 6-7, doing some fancy footwork. Wide shot, ties it up, 3-3, 6-7, the new kid looks behind, the whole team gives it 6-7, hand motions. That'll tie it up, 3-3, 4:11 left in the game. We got a barn burner here in Gary, Indiana. So it looks like we're going to reset with the same lines, but we're going to go with the defensive change. Now we've got the defense reset. Grayson and Nolan are back on the lines that they started with this morning. Gets passed up the puck. 13 has big eyes and ambition. Passes it over to Finley. Finley gets swarmed by black jerseys. And that's a goal. So while we celebrated shortly, looks like our defense couldn't handle what was going down. That was a wide goal. I'm not sure if anybody was covering him, but 3:51, back down by 1, 4-3. Madeline, Canterbury, Poulter line with Mamick and Carlson. So this is the line that was making things happen this morning, and this is the line that needs to make something happen here. Draw goes to the Ice Hounds. Ice Hounds misplay it, passes to Madeline. Madeline passes, gets kicked back. Carlson sees glory, brings it in himself, gets tripped up by an Ice Hounds player behind him. No call. Canterbury kicks it into Poulter. Poulter couldn't handle the pass. Poulter goes down on one knee, slaps at it. Now he's flopping around like a dead fish in a bathtub. Poulter still with the puck underneath him. Canterbury gets hold of it. Poulter tries to reset. Canterbury looks for somebody in the slot. Madeline was working her way back. And the puck is going to go for an icing. So we'll reset after that melee in the corner. So we'll start off with Owen, Santos, Landon, Simon, and Benji. Benji gets hold of it at the point, kicks it in. Ice Hounds knock it down. Number 2, Simmons, goes for a breakaway, outskates Benji in, looks wide. Puck gets lots of bodies hitting the ground. Looks like Simon's down, hurt behind the net, and we're gonna get a stoppage in play. I'm not sure, I think he fell on his knees. I don't think there was any hits. There's a lot of bodies all slamming into each other behind the net. Looks like his dad's making his way out, check on him. Maybe he just wanted to, reset the play, calm down. Hopefully he's okay. I guess I'm supposed to divert, but I don't think he's hurt that bad. We'll see. He gets up. A little bit of encouragement from Pops. Heads to the bench. It looks like he's shaking his wrist, so maybe he might have fell on his wrist. All right, well, we'll reset. I believe it'll be a center ice draw because the whistle was blown once it was in the neutral zone. We'll start with 67, 13, and 34 on the offensive line with Nolan and Grayson running on the defensive line. Puck drops, kick back to Nolan. Nolan kicks it up to Finley. Finley kicks it, gets kicked back out. Axel across to Grayson into no man's land in the middle circle. Nobody but black jerseys there, unfortunately. 16, wow. Axel all over the ice right now. Was able to tip that out of the shot that was fixing to be taken. Wide open shot, by the way. Ice Hounds recover in their defensive zone. I think they're basically just trying to hold the line. We've got 2:10 left in the game. We're down by 1. We would expect at some point, this is the Axel does some trying to get, I'm not sure what's going on. True can't handle it, loses it. Francis follows back into our offensive zone for a defensive zone for a reset. 36 is able to fall down and kick it back deep. True in the corner, doing some chopping, passes it up, completely falls out on Finley. Finley trying to do some figure skating moves, was not able to hold on to that triple axel he was trying to attempt at. So we'll reset. We get another change on. Canterbury's on. It's like a mid-change. I'm always good for that. I think he replaces, well, we're getting a bunch of changes right now, but in the defensive zone, not advised. Canterbury gets hold of it, passes it up to the speed of Grayson. Grayson's looking for glory, crosses the line. Somebody gets in the slot. Madeline waiting patiently in the high slot. Axel kicks it up. They call Luke off. We're going to add another player. There's a minute left in play, and Michigan still sucks. Puck is not able to be held on by Canterbury. Patterson gets hold of it. It's a 3-on-1 empty net. Lots of white and red. 43 seconds, lots of hockey to play. Madeline, 13 to Axel, cross to Canterbury, wide open, does not pass it across. 33 seconds, desperation happening, down by 1, 30 seconds left, and a shot way wide. We're gonna have to reset in the neutral zone with 24 seconds left. Mamet gives chase. We are on 19 seconds. Lifting of sticks. Everybody's trying to get this puck out of the neutral zone and away from the Ice Hounds. Lots of white. Change, quick change. 7 seconds. They're gonna hold on to it. Patterson's smart hockey player. It gets tipped. 2 seconds left. Shot gets kicked into the ankle of a. That shot takes out, and they all take each other out. So it was an excellent game here in Muncie, Indiana. That hurts for the Cyclones, but these teams are very evenly matched. It could have gone either way. Great hockey this morning. Really good hockey. Nobody on either team, well, I'm sure that the Ice Hounds don't have any complaints about the way this game ended, but for the Cyclones, everybody played hard. It was good hockey this morning. So we'll play again this afternoon against the Force Green team, which is equivalent to the Ice Hounds lower team. So